I'm 19 and I used to think that I was a damaged individual. I used to have the I'm broken mindset. And when I had this mindset, I was constantly limiting myself. I was telling myself that I couldn't grow, I couldn't progress in life, and I was stuck the way I was. You see, I've learned the hard way that it's important what you tell yourself, and your words are powerful. Imagine me at 15 talking to my mum and telling her all the problems I was having and acting like an old man. A lot of us act like we have been through everything in life and we ignore the fact that we are learning. We are making mistakes. And in my opinion, I don't even think life starts until you leave high school. I think that's when life truly starts because then you have your own freedom. You're not forced to do anything. When you're so young and the way you're talking to yourself is important because sometimes we can be dramatic. Sometimes, although horrendous things have happened to us and we are impacted by it, we do act like we have been through life. We act like we are coming to the end when a lot of our lives haven't even started yet. And one of my most embarrassing secrets is scrolling on Google and trying to self-diagnose myself based on how I was feeling. Going, yeah, you know what, I do feel low sometimes. I do feel a little bit sad. So I have this, I have that. And that was doing no help at all. The hardest pill to swallow is that we probably haven't seen the half of what we are going to go through. We are probably going to be in much more pain than we currently are in now. You see, my friend, life doesn't get easier. We all just get stronger. There are going to be much more testing times. There are going to be times where we really just want to give up and roll over and tell life that it won. But we both know that's not how our story is going to end. I would argue that when you're young, your mindset matters more. How are you perceiving things? How are you reacting to things? How are you talking to yourself? All of this matters. We're at an impressionable age where we think that when something happens, it's the end of the world. Where we think that we are beyond fixing. I honestly think that an adult has learned from all their experience that this is just what life does. And we are going to feel like this sometimes. We haven't gained that many experience points. We don't understand this. I've done a lot of stupid things, but I would like to say that I don't regret anything. Because without all that stuff happening, I wouldn't be who I am today. So no, I'm not a broken individual. I'm a student and life is the teacher. But I can't stress enough how important it is to stay positive. Even when something negative happens to us, I guarantee if we look hard enough, we can find a positive inside of it. There will always be something we gain from a loss. There will always be something we learn from a loss. When you wake up, you need to be smiling. A lot of people don't even wake up once they go to sleep. And we're blessed enough to get up and we are able to live. And living is such a beautiful thing. The world, although there are a lot of stuff going on, is such a beautiful place when we look hard enough. I can see that you're fighting. I can see that you're trying. And that is the best thing ever. Never, ever stop trying. Never, ever stop fighting. Fight through the pain. Fight through everything. Because I'm telling you, once you tell yourself it's going to work out, it will. And I'm telling you now, everything is going to work out. Everything's going to be okay. I don't need to be some sort of psychiatrist, some sort of therapist to tell you that there is nothing wrong with you. How you are currently feeling right now, you are not the only one, and I can heavily relate to you. But maturing is realizing that each stage of our life holds some sort of value. When you're at your lowest, it shows you how resilient you are, and it shows you that you're able to stand up. When you're at your highest, it's showing you that all your hard work has paid off. Every stage of your life means something. There is no stage of your life that you go through that is meaningless. There's always going to be lessons to learn. Another common thing that young people do is they overthink about every single thing. And a lot of overthinkers out there, you might be saying that overthinking is actually a good thing because once you overthink and something ends up happening, it is not so devastating. But what I will say is that you are putting a strain on your mind. When you're overthinking about the past, the future, you are putting stress onto yourself. You're putting unneeded stress. I think it is heavily important to focus on the present. What is going on now? You need to be able to remain in the moment at all times. That is more important. When you overthink, you're creating false scenarios, and then you are feeling the emotions as if that scenario actually just happened. What happens when you overthink and you're wrong? Huh? And not too long ago, I was doing some heavy overthinking, and I put a deep stress on myself. You know, I was in the bed tossing and turning. I couldn't sleep. Yada, yada, yada. Creating those same false situations I was talking about. Living like I was in a what if story. And we are all only human. But sometimes we do need to get a grip of ourselves and understand that sometimes we are worrying for no reason. And worrying isn't just about overthinking and stressing about events that might not even take place. It is also when we talk and think about our own success. I would say nowadays, you get to see a lot more successful people that are young. I think before, people would get successful as they got older, maybe in their 20s or later down the line, where now we are all so eager to be successful now. And I'm not saying that drive and hunger isn't a good thing. I'm not saying that's not important, to want to be great, to want to be better than your current self. But sometimes it can be your own undoing. You want to be hard on yourself, but a lot of you are way too hard on yourselves. I understand self-discipline. I have self-discipline, but you are seeking perfection instead of being consistent. When you are seeking perfection, you are trying to be flawless. You are trying to make sure everything you do has zero mistakes, which doesn't make any sense because in order to win, you're gonna have to fail. When somebody is consistent, on the good days, on the bad days, they show up. They also understand that sometimes you're gonna have to take 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward. They understand that sometimes regression is a part of progression. You're never going to be in a position where you are constantly progressing. You're going to have ups and downs, and not everything you do is going to be perfect. And especially if you are young, this is not a good trait to have. With a lot of our lives, I'm telling you, this is only the beginning. We haven't experienced so much, and we have the hunger to experience so much. But I'm telling you, all our times will come. I don't know what stage of life you are at, but I can tell you that life is a journey. Life, when you are young, is not about having it all together. And I don't want to say that you should prioritize fun and not build a foundation for yourself, but I will say you are not a grown man. You are not a grown woman. It's okay if your life isn't all together. The most important thing is the journey you are on and the process you are undertaking. As much as we feel like we are going to be young forever, the truth is we only get this chance once. It is so important to live your life. It is so important to stay positive. And it is so important to understand you are not damaged, you are young and learning how to live. My God. End video.